Hey y'all, crazymommakelly here coming at you from my part of PA. Well, this is my cleaning gear. Sorry, I don't look too hot today, but you can't be ghetto fabulous all the time, and if you do, you're set for life. But anyway, I'm cleaning around the house, and I started thinking about the impending Mother's Day. Ooh, so I was wondering to myself, where'd the origins of Mother's Day come from? So I figured, why not make a video about it? So I'll bring you along about it. Okay, so I'm going to be doing my dishes as always while I tell you what's going on. Because, like I said, it's cleaning day. I got tons to do. I got to clean out, I got to do dishes, I got to do laundry, and then I got to clean out my scary science project in the fridge. Because nobody else does anything around here, it's where the house would fall apart. Unless me, the mother, does it. Like all women, all mothers out there. So, what's this thing going on about Mother's Day? Well, I'll tell you about it. Mother's Day is actually a lot older than people think it is. Everybody thinks maybe it's just a big consumerist thing just to sell more stuff. Yeah, that's true. That's what it pretty much is nowadays. But actually it dates back to the Greek and Roman era. Actually, they used to hold festivals. And the festivals were held in the springtime, and it was to honor Re, the goddess and mother of the Olympian god, and the wife of Cronus. Cronus, if anybody's read into Greek mythology, he was the father of all the gods, the Greek pantheon. But anyway, and in Roman times, they had a festival similar to that, the one the Greeks had, and it was in springtime. And it was to honor the goddess, mother goddess Sybil. And if I'm correct, I'm not sure about, I might have it screwed up. I think Sybil was the wolf mother of Romulus and Remus, and they were the ones that founded Rome. Well, anyways, what would happen was these vegetables would actually, in Rome, would get pretty hairy. You know, those crazy Romans. Anyways, they would have festivals where they'd go into this temple of Sybil, and they would leave her flowers, they would leave her gifts, you know, just generally gifts. They would have games, parades, and masquerades in honor of her. And sometimes they would get so bad, and I guess this was in March, it was so crazy that the followers of Sybil were actually banished from Rome. That's talk about craziness there for Mother's Day. You're just taking flowers and candy and make dinner, and there you go. Romans were all out doing us then. Well, anyways, it started, yeah, like I said, it started honoring goddesses, and then even the early Christians had a form of it. And I don't have to take a look at my notes here in a second, but the early Christians had a form of it also. They would celebrate it. It was, excuse me, it was called Mother's Day, Mothering Day, but you know, that's what they called it in Britain. But in Mothering Day, what the early Christians would do was, during the festival, it was the fourth Sunday of Lent. It was to honor Mother Mary, Virgin Mother Mary. And then in England, I guess they expanded on it to have the holiday to honor all mothers. So after you go to church service and say prayers to Mother Mary to honor her, this was in the 1600s in England, they would honor all mothers, and they would bring home like flowers and gifts and little cakes, mothering cakes to their mothers to honor them. Okay, and that would pay tribute to their mothers. So this was going on in the 1600s, okay? The cake they would bring home was either like a small fruit cake or a fruit-filled pastry called simul. And even in England at the time, servants even occasionally servants and apprentices and employees were actually, who had to stay away from their homes, were actually encouraged by their employers to actually go home and give their mom honor, for Mother's Day. And that died out, though. In the 19th century, that died out almost completely. But in World War II, after our troops came home from the war, they brought home these traditions with them. So that's how it all got consumerized and everything else like you see around today. There's actually 2 women contributed to the American Civil War, American Mother's Day too. Her name is Juila Warde Howe, and she was famous for writing the Battle Hymn of the Republic. She was a poet, activist, and writer. And she thought that Mother's Day should be held on June 2nd, and she thought it should be also Mother's Day to honor mothers, yes, but then she thought it would also be a time for peacetime, to put away your arms and just be peaceful people, she might have been an activist, but she was the original hippie. Heck yeah, and she was, and this happened in 1872, okay? So, if you're still following along with me, even back in August, she wrote a passionate appeal to women everywhere to urge them to rise up against the war, and in her famous Mother's Day proclamation, it was written in Boston in 1870. Okay, then there's another chick. Her name was Anna Jarvis, and she's recognized as the founder of Mother's Day in the United States. Okay, this happened in West Virginia. She had a deep love for her mother and respect for her mother. And although she wasn't a mother and she didn't get married herself and she didn't have any children, she always remembered the words of her mother to honor her mother, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. So she figured what she'd do, her mother's favorite, she never forgot her mother. She always had deep love for her mother. And after her mother passed away, she decided she's going to send carnations, which happened to be her mother's favorite flower. She sent carnations to a little church in Grafton, West Virginia. Woo! She sent it there. And she thought the carnation symbolized the pure love that a mother has for her child. Okay, and after that, later, after she did that, and she had supporters, her and her supporters wrote letters to higher people up in high positions that could change things and stuff. And then by, and Mother's Day, was presented, okay, sorry, I get distracted. The official declaration for Mother's Day holiday was passed on to, it happened the cause was passed in 1911. And by then it was celebrated by almost every state in the Union, Mother's Day was. And even on May 8, 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed a joint resolution designating the second Sunday in May as Mother's Day. So there you go. And Mother's Day now is celebrated all around the world. It's celebrated in the U.S., UK, Denmark, India, Finland, Italy, Turkey, Australia, Mexico, Canada, China, Japan, and Belgium. Woo! That's a lot of countries. But yeah, every race out there, I guess people out there have a way of honoring their mother. And we're just blessed to have that. I mean, a mother's love is the most powerful love you can have on the planet. I mean, me as being a mother myself, I understand the love that I have for my child. You put your child's needs in front of your own, always and forever, because that's what a mother does. It's just instinctual. Okay, so what I'm planning on doing for Mother's Day for my mother, I'm thinking is I'm probably going to buy her a gift. I don't want to buy her anything tinsy or whatever. I want something that she'd really like, I think. But then I'm also going to make her this little recipe. I have this cookbook. Actually love this cookbook. I bought it when I was a young pup, so don't judge me on the title. But it's called Kitchen Witch's Cookbook. I have some awesome recipes in here. I had a recipe in there. I got my honey cake recipe out of here. I've gotten tons of recipes out here, and they're actually really good. So, but anyways, it's kind of a cool history book because it also teaches you about the history of the dish you're making and where it derived from and everything else. So these are called mothering cakes, okay? And it said these were given to their mothers, semmel cakes. Like I said, I think I said that. Did I say that? I'm not sure. The semmel cakes. That's what the pastry or the cake was that the children would bring home to their mothers after church service. Okay, well anyways, this was during, it says here, sometimes semmel cakes similar to these were traditionally made by children for their mothers in England during mid-Lent. The flavored frosting was buttercream. Almost all the ingredients in there are lunar in nature. Of course, they have the different properties of the herbs or the food or anything you're using, you know, so. But this, I'll give you the recipe if you want it. It's 3/4 cup butter, 1/2 cup sugar, 4 eggs, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 cup currants, 1/3 cup shredded coconut, 1/2 cup candied lemon rind, minced, 2½ cups marzipan, and 2 tablespoons of white wine. And you preheat your oven to 350, and there you go. You mix the batter up, and you spread the cake out in a pan, and it'll be done in 60 seconds. I'll write down the information for you if you want, you know, but that's what I'm going to do for my mom. You know, I figured, what the heck? You know, I always give her chocolate covered strawberries or something similar to that, or sometimes when Crazy Mom Kelly and our clan's been having a hard year, my mom says not to get her anything, but I try to get her at least something a little. I mean, you have to honor your mom, okay? And if you have a problem with your mom, hug your mom. I mean, it's most important to love your mom because she gave up a lot for you to be here. Believe it or not, she gave away her body, she gave away her time. Sometimes her health was involved or changed afterwards, having children. You know, she's raised you, clothed you, fed you, stayed up with you at night when you're sick. It's just what moms do, you know. But I was also going to read to you, if you'd like, the Mother's Day Proclamation. This was written by our girl, Juila Warde Howe, and this is what I'm going to read to you, okay? So this is what it said. Mother's Day Proclamation. Arise, then, women of this day. Arise, O women who have hearts, whether your baptism be of water or tears. Say firmly, we will not have questions decided by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands shall not come to us reeking of carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We women of one country shall be tender to those of another country, to allow our sons to be trained, not allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of this devastated earth, a voice goes up from our own. It says, disarm, disarm, the sword of murder is not the balance of justice. Blood does not wipe out dishonor, nor violence indicate possession. As men have forsaken the plow and the anvil to summons of the war, let women now leave all that we may be left of home for a great and earnest kind of day of council. Let them meet first as women to bewail and commemorate the dead. Let them solemnly take counsel with each other as a means whereby the great human family can live in peace, each bearing after his time the sacred impress not of the Caesar, but of God. In the name of womanhood and humanity, I earnestly ask that a general congress of women, without limits of nationality, be appointed and held at some place deemed most convenient, and at the earliest period consistent with its objects, to promote the alliance of the different nationalities, the amicable settlement of international questions, the great general and interests of peace. And this was by Juila Warde Howe, Boston, 1870. So I hope you liked your little video from Crazy Mom Kelly. I hope it was crazy enough for you. I know it wasn't Crazy Mom Kelly, you know, on Pennsylvania, but, you know, we all celebrate Mother's Day. So remember, hug your mother, call your mother, do what you gotta do. Honor that mother. All right. Thanks for watching, as always, and peace and blessed be, and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.